Well,
you?
God damn it.
Cough, cough, cough.
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Common Ground MTG Podcast, the podcast where we talk about commons in the form of Pauper, the format. I am your host, Cameron Schindler, joined as always by the Thomas Gunn, the Chipotle Heat Annihilator.
No, that's me.
Yeah.
Is your brain okay, my dude?
No.
No. Oh, no.
And I'm also joined by my other beautiful co-host, James Hippo Hieronymus.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Hippo. I got a Hippo fact from Jay. He
Let's
sent us
go.
another one. So, well, first he told me what a hippo was. Thank you, Jay. That's not a fact. But adults average 3,300 pounds for bulls, those are males, and 2,900 pounds for females, or cows, which are females. Despite their stocky shape and short legs, just like our hippo. Hippos are capable of running up to 19 miles. They're running up to 19 miles per hour over short distances. Just like our hippo, too, though.
Hell yeah.
As flattering as that is, you think I can run 19 miles an hour, I'm going to have to tell you no.
How fast was Usain
We're
Bolt?
wasted over long distances.
What's the fastest human? It can't be 19 miles per hour, can it?
I'm going to check right now.
And is it still Usain Bolt, I wonder? Because remember, we heard about that when we were kids. Like, Usain Bolt, so fast.
Oh, I don't remember who the fat...
Usain Bolt reached a top speed of about 27.33 miles per hour.
Dude, that's stupid. He outran
When
a
like
hippo.
the average male running speed is 8.
That's insane.
Over 3 times as fast. That's insane.
Yeah. He's
incredibly
a
fast.
very fast human.
Can you imagine like driving through a neighborhood and you just get passed by a
By
person?
Usain Bolt.
You're
Well,
just like, huh?
that is kind of peak adrenaline form. But anyway.
Hippo, you are not stocky shaped and short legs.
I'm something.
You're
Beautiful.
something. He's beautiful. Today, we got an episode for y'all. That's why we are here.
I hope so.
Yeah. We got another email from... I probably should pull up this email. From Andrew. He sent us a cool email that kind of inspired the whole topic episode. Should just read it out as a whole. First, he titled it, With a Pocket Full of Shells. Appreciate that. But... Hi guys, I've been playing Pauper at my LGS for about a year and love it. Stumbled upon this podcast the week the first episode was posted, and I've been a regular listener. I appreciate your insight and have learned a bunch, and even placed second in a local tournament with Thomas's 4 Fire Blast deck.
Let's go.
Lost to Coggates. Hate that crap.
Same.
That's fair.
Same,
Fair if
Andrew.
you're a mono red gamer. Continues, I have always struggled with something, and I'm hoping you guys can cover it in a future episode. This episode. 2 things, actually. Making the right mulliganing decisions and what to take out my deck when sideboarding cards in. For whatever reason, I don't have consistent rules I follow for either, and I think often make irrational decisions based on my emotions from the previous game. Curious to hear your thoughts. Keep doing what you're doing. Pauper forever. Andrew.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
No, that's dope. Loved hearing the kind words. Really, really appreciate that. And if you other listeners have questions, we'll answer them and maybe even dedicate a whole 50 minutes to answering it. I maybe 50, at least 30, 30 to 40 for sure.
We've got a lengthy amount of time.
Yeah, we got much time.
Yeah, this is a good thing to unpack. Sideboarding and mulliganing are probably like the hardest things in Magic. And I think often it's awesome you're asking these questions because like I've said in a previous episode, like I feel a lot of people can start blaming like, oh man, I missed a land drop. I would have won this game if I would have drew one more land. I would have won this game if I was on the play. And like, instead of thinking about what if I mulligan this hand? Mm-hmm. So that's like, this is great. Like, that's like the first level up, which is super good. You also said I don't have consistent rules I follow for either. And I think that's okay because Magic doesn't have 100%.
Yeah, there's no utter certainties.
Mm-hmm. So like I'm sure we've all been in a situation where we played the same deck in a day and sideboarded different even.
Yeah.
Or mulligan different. Like there's never 100% on anything. So let's talk about the first thing. Should we talk about sideboarding or mulliganing?
Let's talk about mulligans first.
Okay.
I think both of these are something that's applicable to every deck, every format, like you were saying. I want to touch first on the note about making irrational or emotional decisions, because I think that's something that we've also all kind of gotten into at one point or another, whether you're tilted or you're maybe excited. Oh, you won a game. You're like in the finals of a tournament or whatever, and your adrenaline's running high, and you just kind of rush through your decisions maybe. Whatever the case may be, I think it's important to like find a way for you to center yourself and stay focused and figure out like know what your plans are ahead of time, so that when you get to these moments, you're not overthinking things. You're not going too fast or making decisions based on whatever else may be the case. If that makes sense.
Outside factors.
Yeah, outside factors, especially emotional factors.
Control what you can control. Try your best not to let other things bother you that are outside your control.
Yeah.
Because if you can't control something, you can spend your whole life letting that eat you up instead of thinking about the things that you can improve on. Both Magic and IRL.
There you go.
There you go. Free life advice too.
There you go.
Me to you.
We're here for it all.
Yeah.
Dishing out the wisdom.
Yeah, for real. What you were saying though, Thomas, earlier was when you're looking at a hand, if you're keeping your mulliganing, especially game ones, like your game ones, you're going to stick to your plan a lot more, because this is going to go in the sideboarding later, but you guys aren't sideboarded yet and probably don't know what each other are playing, right, unless you are the mono red guy or mono red person at your LGS and your opponent knows like, Andrew, always on mono red. I just kept Prismatic Strands Dawnbringer Cleric. Good luck, Andrew. But like, if that's not the case, it's like, y'all don't know what you're playing, so keep a hand that's going to your game plan, especially game one. And it's good to know, like, who's the beatdown. That's a classic magical article.
Yes.
Like, it is a magical article. I can't remember who wrote it, but if you type in MTG, yes. If you type in MTG, who's the beatdown, great article. And that can influence your mulliganing. If you're on mono red, we'll probably end up using mono red quite a bit as an example and stuff, but maybe some other control-y decks. Like, you're going to want to keep a hand that has, like, a good mixture of maybe a few lands, not too many, but, like, pressure. You got to keep the pressure. If it's just, you can't be keeping hands that don't go to your game plan. Like, if it's the Kadolfa version, like, if you have land, Kadolfa, burn spell, it's like, what's your pressure? Like, what's your plan? To burn them 3 times and top deck? Like, that you can't. Like, that's not good.
Right. It's not an effective package.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see these packages of cards, and if you don't see them and you don't have enough pressure, then that generally means that you want a mulligan. And
looking at that 7 and saying to yourself, how am I going to win the game? What does my turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 look like from here?
I know from our locals this past weekend, me on that Tron deck, I mulliganed more with that deck than I have mulliganed with basically any other popper deck. Like, that deck is full of a bunch of one-ofs, and so you're looking for specific cards. Like, even say I did know what my opponent was playing in game 1, so I'm like trying to find hands that are not only kind of set me up for the future, but allow me to even get to the future.
Yeah.
So there's like this tight line to walk with that, something like that specifically.
And I think the decks that have cards with the name of the deck in it, so like Tron, Kadolfa, stuff like that. Terror. It's like you almost want to. Those tend to be terror less so, but tend to be more linear decks. So it's like you want to keep something that's on that strategy. Like Hippo doesn't want to keep a hand with Tron with no Tron lands or ways to find Tron lands, because that's not your game 1 game plan.
No, my game 1 game plan is to outvalue you eventually with Tron lands.
But like when we can what's hard about like the mulligan device, I don't want to feel like we're just not giving good answers and just we're just talking like motivational talks almost, where it's like, you just got to get out there and do it, man.
Yeah,
you gotta make yourself do it.
Be comfortable with whatever deck that you're playing too. Like comfort level will influence your decision on based on on what hands you know you can and cannot keep. So like having like reps of games or goldfishing your deck or whatever is a good way to like understand what hands are functional and what hands are not functional, or whatever hands are functional in a matchup or not. And
especially like if you're playtesting, and even in F&M, like if something's really there's not much on the line, it's keep a risky hand, and if you keep those risky hands, take very, very close note and pay attention to the game of like what went wrong and if you thought something would have been better in the situation that you're in.
Also in that same boat, if you do keep these like really, like say you kept a sketchy hand, so you're like, I don't know, this hand just needs this thing to get there, and then you happen to draw the thing. It's like, well, what would have happened if you didn't draw the thing?
Yeah,
you have to think about it on the other side as well. So
like, Gun, we were just practicing some standard before Hippo got here in the last game we played, which was a long one.
Yes,
and I was playing an aggro deck. It was a post-sideboard game. Man, see, these mulliganing and sideboard things, they just intertwine so much. But it was a post-sideboard game. It was weird. I didn't really have anything crazy good. Like, I'm not applying pressure to, like, turn 4 in an aggro deck. But it was just, like, such a good 3-drop, and I was on the play.
Yep.
So I kept the hand knowing I'm on the play. And I'm more likely going to get this 3-drop to stick. And I'm like, I even told Gum before we started game, like, this is a weird hand, but let's see how it goes. I want to know how this works. And that was a heuristic on like sideboarding too. It's like you're going to mulligan different hands on post-board games because in a post-board game, your deck isn't going to be on its game 1 plan as much. Like if you're more aggressive, games 2 and 3, you're more likely, you probably might still be the aggressor, but you might be slowing it down a little bit.
Right.
Like
you want to match the level of what your opponent's doing too.
Like, does mono red play Cast and Fire in their sideboard?
Sometimes. I mean, I didn't in my list, like using my list as an example, because that's what Andrew played. Like when we're siding out like a couple, like shaving a couple burn, like now we're getting into sideboarding too, but like when we're shaving, sorry, we'll hop back and forth and we'll vibe. We're vibing today. Like when you're shaving like some burn spells and bringing in like blasts, for example, you are setting yourself up for these hands and mulligan decisions, just like you're saying, where like you already know that you're not going to have the absolute fastest start that you could have in exchange for really good interaction. And that interaction, if you need to know if you need it in your opening hand or if you can afford to draw it within the first couple turns or not, because there are some decks, like you're saying, where your game 1 plan might still be fine, but after you've sideboarded, more likely than not, just like you're saying, Cameron, is that your game 1 plan is going to be diluted, but that's only because your sideboard like silver bullets, like your blasts or your breath weapons, your smash to smithereens, things like that are just like really, really, really good in the spots that they're good.
And even if you're like playing against Kadolfa and you're just like the burn version and you have to end the festivities them or fiery cannonade, it's like that's not your game 1, but that's not your game 1 plan, but like the value you're getting out of that is so good.
Yeah.
And if you need to mulligan to see those sideboard cards,
right,
if it's that important, if that's what you're losing to,
right,
you got to find those cards.
Right. I think it's very matchup dependent in terms of like how aggressively are you mulliganing or not. Like another example, say you're playing like Koldatha Red or my burn list against something like Boggles, against the hexproof deck. That's already a very poor matchup because they have a creature that you basically can't kill, and they're going to eventually make it huge and give it lifelink, and you basically die on the spot. So what do you have to... You basically have to mulligan to like end the festivities or breath weapons out of like my list, so you can take it out before it gets any aura on it. Otherwise, it's unlikely that you'll be able to come back from that. And even then, like they're bringing in like protection from red creatures too. So like that's like a little bit of an iffy example, but in terms of aggressively mulliganing for the answer you need, or against like these like graveyard combo decks like Cycling Storm and the One Land Spy.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Like, the more linear a deck is, you need to mulligan more aggressively for your sideboard hate. Like,
or a hand that's fast enough to beat them before they can do the thing they're doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. One or two of the things, depending on what your role is in the matchup and how fast you can kill them. Like, when I was playing against Hunter a few locals ago and he was playing that One-Line Spy, I think I mulliganed the 4 looking for a land and a relic.
I was going to bring up that match for this as well.
Same page, same brainwaves.
You did mulligan, so you found a hate card because your deck was very slow. His deck's obviously trying to kill you on turn 1 or turn 2. So you being able to mulligan, you making the decisions to mulligan down enough to find the cards that mattered won you the game essentially. Aside from him miscounting, but they did help you win the game.
And like, mulliganing is very, very good.
Yes.
Yes.
people
the fact
see it
that
as a
you are
downside.
allowed to do that is great.
Could be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You could just get your 5 and be like, good luck.
Yeah.
But mulliganing, I think like people see it almost as like they're like, I gotta go to 6
And
I gotta go to 5. And don't get me wrong, when I'm starting to go to 4, I'm not happy.
Yeah, well, and another thing is actually as time progresses on, we've changed the mulligan rules in the game too.
Right.
What was the last one? It was a
Scry
Scry 1.
Scry, yeah.
But you didn't look at extra cards. You took one fewer card every single time you mulligan. This time you get to look at 7 cards every time.
Yes.
And so you
put
get
X amount back.
so you're still getting to look as many cards every single time, then sculpting a hand based on that, which is fantastic.
Yes.
I'll see like a lot of things where it's like you look at your 7's not very good, and say no lands, can't keep that, obviously. Ship that away. That's gonna happen sometimes. You get 6, your 6 is just, say it's the mono red deck again. 3 lands, a blast, a pinger, and a random burn spell. Like, it's iffy, and you're starting to think to yourself, do I want to go to 5? That's
Depends on the matchup, because I can see a world where I would just bottom a land and
Yeah.
call that good, because that's 2 blasts of interaction plus a pinger plus a burn spell. So that's like actually kind of a reasonable 6, but it's certainly not the best 6.
Yeah, bad
because,
example.
like,
I'm not
double-
a mono red gamer.
No, that's okay, because like double, like having 2 blasts, like cool, we can interact with a couple things, but then we do need more gas to be able to
One of those might
pull
as well
ourselves
not
out of
almost
it.
be there sometimes.
Basically, yeah.
At least in the early game. But what I was kind of going with that was you're looking at that 6, and you're thinking, well, it's better than going to 5. Especially in a post-board game, no, it's not. Like, if you need like a piece of interaction like we're talking, or like you need the nuts, you're like, this is a hard matchup, I need a good hand. You're playing against Coggates, this isn't good enough.
No.
Like,
if one of those blasts is like end the festivities, then you're like, okay, cool, great.
Yeah, go to 5. Like, a lot of like, that's like very bad thinking, to being like, well, it's not worth going to 5, or my 5 could be worse than this, so I'm just gonna keep this. Like, you can't not mulligan based on information you do not have.
Also, something to be said is like, how potent are your sideboard cards for what you're bringing them in against? How often are they going to matter? Like, a good case, we'll use the mono red deck against Callgates, for example. Like, how important is that flaring pain in the sideboard? How important? Yeah, obviously this is the matchup where you bring it in for the prismatic strands. But like, how important is that to enact your game plan while being able to hold up this piece of interaction for their way to stop you from just dying?
Right.
And I just want to like kind of throw as an example, when that SCG con in Cincy that I top 8'd, I have never mulliganed to 5 more than my life, but I've also never lost so many game 1s and proceeded to win games 2 and 3 and win the match more in my life, because I understand in the deck that I was playing what I needed for the important matchups, and I knew I couldn't keep mediocre 6s and 7s. I shipped a lot of 6s and 7s that they had lands and spells, but it wasn't my game plan.
I think that's something that playing formats like Modern, like that format was, and like Legacy and older higher powered formats, that really teaches you, that I think people should be porting over more into Pauper, because Pauper is also a high-powered format. Like, we have brainstorms and bolts and all this sort of stuff. So, like, you have to have your specific cards. Once you know what the game plan is, especially once you know what you're up against, you have sideboarded information, etc., etc. Like, aggressively mulliganing can be super, super rewarding depending on the matchup and stuff. I think more people need to think, because I think, like, we're in standard season right now for RCQ season. Like, this weekend is like the last weekend. This coming weekend is like the last RCQ weekend for standard. And standard's like, there's a lot of powerful stuff going on in standard, but it's not nearly like, Grief Scam in modern, Ragavan, Leyline, Guild Pack. Like,
the sideboard cards aren't as descriptive as like these older cards too.
Right.
So it's like you look at a Dust to Dust and Pauper, you're like, oh, what's this for? Artifacts.
Yeah. I mean more in terms of just like the power level you're looking at in a hand, of just like, if I'm playing like blue-white control in standard and I'm like 3 or 4 spells, 3 or 4 lands, like maybe one is a board wipe, one is a card draw spell, and just like the rest don't really matter. Like, cool, great, I'll keep it. But like in these more higher powered formats, like, you can't get away with just like some cards,
especially in a format with as aggressively slanted as this one is right now. With like keeping specifically glitters in mind. You can't just keep hands that die to a glitters to being attached to a creature. Exactly. That doesn't work.
Exactly.
Especially if you know you're playing glitters.
Yeah, if you're playing against glitters and you're just like, oh, I'm going to keep a hand that has no interaction for either a creature that the glitters goes on or the glitters itself, like, then...
Get ready to type an angry comment on Reddit.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're going to lose to glitters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're going to lose to glitters if you don't keep hands that can beat that. So it's also all super contextual. Everything we're saying is contextual, obviously. As we mentioned in the beginning of the episode, there's no 100% in Magic. Like, everything is forever changing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Some of it's gonna be vibes.
Yeah,
like I wish we had more of like a scientific answer to give here, but like a lot of it is going to be vibes. Like you guys were saying, of like, once you're familiar with your deck, then it's just kind of gonna come down to like, I have played with a similar, you mulligan. You mulligan a whatever 7 and you find a 6 of like, okay, I've kept a similar 6 to this and it's been all right, like, let's go, you get the familiarity.
And this is actually something good for Cameron and I know, since we tend to change up our decks every month for these our locals, is that actually does teach us like what hands are and are not acceptable for whatever deck that we are playing that month. You get familiarity on yours, which is nice.
Yes.
Yeah, like, this hand doesn't do anything. Cool. I just know that.
Yep, nope. Bye.
Thomas has played something different.
You have played
mix
something
it up
different
sometimes.
But what we're saying is, in general, just having the ability to, across multiple decks for us, being able to find what we believe are acceptable hands to keep, what are not acceptable hands to keep, and knowing when to and to not mulligan is correct. It gets even more challenging the more you tend to shuffle around what you are playing. So if mulligan is something that you find particularly difficult with any deck, focus on one deck to start and then work your way up from there. I feel pretty comfortable mulliganing in the Pauper format. I do personally. I mulliganed a ton with that Tron deck.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get the results necessarily I was looking for? Not necessarily, but the deck's also just hard. But I do believe that I mulliganed appropriately most of the time.
How do you know when you're mulliganing what to put back on the bottom or what to put on the bottom? And that's very hard to say in a broad sense.
Yeah, again, that's more just more context.
Yeah.
We can use guns, red deck, I'm sure.
Sure. Give me. We're mulliganing to 6.
We're going to 5.
We're going to 5. All right, we're going to 5. What's the 7?
You got mono red on you right now?
No.
God,
what are we playing against? What are we playing against?
We're playing against, let's say,
or actually, we're not even boarded yet. We're in game 1.
Yeah.
All right, sure. Yeah, we're
one.
in game 1. Okay.
We haven't got to sideboard yet.
Cool.
I love saying Fire Blast, so let's put a Fire Blast in the hand.
Fire Blast in the hand.
How many lands?
2.
2 mountains.
Times 2
Actually,
mountains.
no. Let's go 4.
4 mountains?
Well, it's easy because you split back 2 lands.
Okay, sure. 2.
Yeah. 2 mountains. Give me some more cards. What else do we play in this deck?
Fire Blast, 2 mountains.
And in the festivities.
Yeah, there is one in the
main board?
There's one in the main. The Epicure. lightning bolt,
Pinger.
and a pinger. The flame breather.
Yeah, so this is a good hand, so it's going to be hard to put stuff back. Cool. So let's restart and let's read this hand out instead of us just...
spitballing cards.
Yeah. Okay. So, Gun, you are mulliganing the 5 in the famous Thomas Red Fire Blast Mono Red deck.
Let's go.
We have a hand of 7. We got to put 2 cards back. You're like, you looked at this. We're going to keep it. What are we putting back?
Yep.
We have 1 Fire Blast.
Okay.
2 Mountains.
Nice.
1 in the Festivities, because you like 1 main board.
Mm-hmm.
1 Valderan Epicure. 1 Lightning Bolt. 1 Flame Breather, the Pinger.
Okay. So we're on a mulligan to 5. So in this spot, my first thought is that I think we got to keep the 2 mountains. I think that's
I agree.
That's a given.
You need to play the cards.
Yeah, we kind of need to be able to cast spells in this game.
And for the same reason we don't keep 1-landers, we're not going to hope to draw a mountain off the top and bail us out.
Right, exactly.
Stop keeping 1-landers.
I think there's an easy, assuming you don't know what your opponent's playing, I think there's a very easy card in this hand to get rid of.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, it's just the ping card.
The end the festivities.
The end festivities, yeah.
Yes,
that card's extremely easy to get rid of. You don't know how contextual it is to the game.
Exactly.
You don't know what your opponent's playing. And now here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to keep the in-game card in Fire Blast? I don't think Lightning Bolt is a question.
No, Lightning Bolt stays. And I think the Flame Breather stays.
I think the Flame Breather also stays. So your question is whether you're getting rid of the Epicure or the Fire or the Fire Blast. Is really the question here, I think.
It is difficult, and it does come down to what you're saying of like, do you want to play towards the end game with the Fire Blast to set that up, or do you want to make sure you don't just get like run over by something? You get then having the Epicure also gives you your only artifact with this hand for demand answers. If you were to draw that, plus it's it's just a blocker on the ground. Are we on the play or on the draw?
You're on the play.
We're on the play. If we're on the play, I think I'm gonna bottom the Epicure.
If we're on the play, really?
If we're on the play, because then we kind of have a little bit of time. It means we're likely to resolve the Flame Breather. Maybe it dies, maybe it sticks, whatever. But like turn 2 on the play, being able to stick Flame Breather is fine. And then we can set up for the Fire Blast towards the late game. I'm also addicted to Fire Blast, so I might be a little biased here. But I would not fault you for bottoming Fire Blast and keeping the Epicure as well.
Hippo, I was thinking about bottoming the Fire Blast for you as well.
I considered it. There's actually I did have a world in my head where you actually bottom land in the festivities.
Ooh.
There's just hear me for a second.
I'm hearing.
So maybe if you're on the draw,
you can bend the festivities in the land, because then you give yourself a draw step to draw the land. Then you have a 1-drop to play. If you already have the 1-drop because you have the Epicure.
Yep.
And then the next turn, if you don't draw a land, you can bend
the Fire Blast.
Bend the Fire Blast.
Yep.
Or no, we've already been the Fire Blast, because that was our mulligan.
We've already been. Okay, yeah.
We assume we draw some dinky card.
No.
You said land. You said land.
Land and the festivities.
I'm sorry. Yeah, land in the festivities. We do have the Fire Blast. So
what are you bending the Fire Blast with, that blood token?
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay.
We're bending the Fire Blast with the blood token, assuming that we don't draw a land there. Because then if we draw a land there, we have Lightning Bolt up. We get for whatever, and then the next turn we can follow it up with a Pinger, and then we're just hopefully we can follow it up with a Pinger, and then ride that to 20-0.
Sure.
And like that's not my favorite plan, just for the same reason. Like I don't like keeping 1-landers.
Right.
Just because it's like you can't guarantee that next land. We've all seen someone, or maybe yourself, keep a 1-lander, and you're like, man, I saw the top 10 cards in my library, no land. It's like, well, yeah, no one said there was going to be a land there.
Welcome to a game of variance.
Yeah.
You might be on the right track with bottoming the Fire Blast here, because now that I'm thinking through the sequence, you go turn 1 Epicure, turn 2 Flame Breather, turn 3, if you've drawn a land, God forbid 2 lands, then you have your blood token to kind of filter a land away and just try and draw towards actual gas.
Yeah, I like Epicure over Fire Blast here, I think.
Okay, I'm coming around to it.
My reasoning on bottoming the Fire Blast of this too is to like broaden the terms more. We described it as a late game finisher, and we're keeping a hand based on these are 5 cards we can use early in the game, and we want to go fast. This is game 1. Since we're mono red, let's stick to that game plan of going fast. These are all fast cards. Hopefully these can get me halfway there or a quarter of the way there, and I have chances to draw more mid to late game cards as my draw steps go.
It's basically guaranteed to get at least 5 damage in with this combination of cards, between Epicure, Bolt, and Flame Breather. So
cool.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Now moving on to sideboarding.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to touch on before we move on?
Yeah. Stop. If you this is your 7, you got a 1 land in your hand, or you're like, man, I need a white source or something.
Mulligan.
And you're like, boy, you got that far. You said, I'm gonna mulligan. And you look at the top card of your deck, and like, man, I should have kept it. No, you shouldn't have.
Because you were not guaranteed that planes on
you
top,
don't know
or
that
white
card.
source or whatever.
You did not know.
Yeah, you did not. There's unknown information. Yeah.
Don't look.
I
still look. Sometimes.
I do.
Sometimes I will look.
I ran into that yesterday. I was playing some pickup games at work, and I did that very thing. I was like, I wish I could have kept if I'd known what was on the top. But we don't know that. Keep hands based on the information that you have.
And like for the most part, stop keeping 1-landers. Like we said, there's never a guaranteed never in Magic or like always do this, but stop keeping 1-landers for the most part.
In the general sense, yes.
Yes,
there,
in the general
sense,
there
are some decks where like whatever
you can get away with it a little bit.
But yes, I agree.
Especially if you're playing a control deck.
There's also we got to think about these land cyclers in the format now too.
Those are lands.
Those are essentially lands.
Those are lands.
All right.
Especially early.
And moving on to sideboarding.
Cool.
I have a great piece of advice for sideboarding.
Yes.
Take out the bad cards and we put in the good cards.
Whoa.
I know this is a revelation that we've all just had here.
Cameron walks away.
And Cameron walks away. He literally left.
Wow. I guess your advice was just that good.
Stunning.
Huh.
Truly.
Do we continue the podcast?
I think we were supposed to wait for our co-host to return.
I don't know. He might never come back.
This is a tragedy. We kind of like him.
Oh.
I committed to a bit. I'm like a Pepsi sounds good.
Attaboy.
I committed to the bit, and then I saw my fridge and I'm like, man, a Pepsi sounds good.
Well, they heard you.
Yeah. But
no,
joking aside, that's obviously the very smart aleck answer is the take out the bad cards and put in the good ones.
but it's true because like the easy part is like when you have your sideboard together, like think about like a dust to dust or the blue blast or red blast. It's like when you want those, where you want those and why you want those.
I think it's easier to put in cards than it is to take them out.
Exactly, which I think is speaking to Andrew's point here of just like, how do we know what to take out? And I think this is a really important skill to kind of like have internalized. And it's also, so first of all, it can be helpful. Maybe we'll get to this a little bit later, but this is something that can be helpful when you're coming up with your sideboard guide. If you're someone who finds it helpful to have like notes in your deck box that you can follow of just like this comes in, this goes out. Maybe you like buy a guide from someone's Patreon or something like that, so that like ship someone $5 and they give you a sideboard
ground
guide.
Patreon with sideboard guidance coming soon.
That's not a terrible idea. Email us if you'd like that to be a thing. But where was I going with that? Yeah, so choosing what to take out is way harder than what to bring in.
And like what Hippo said, like for example, like we were just talking about your mono red deck. Mm-hmm. Say you're playing its gardens in the festivities. That's not doing anything. Get that out.
Nope.
That was step 1. Easy.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, like we need to think of why. So like exactly what James said, like the bad cards. Like think if you're listening, what are the bad cards? And the festivities against gardens, bad card.
There is no situation where you are happy of casting that card.
Pretty much, no, not ever.
You could say you top deck your opponents at 1. You could make a situation up for anything.
Cool, I killed a Crypt Rat.
But let's be real with ourselves.
Anything in my deck can kill a Crypt Rat.
No, you just made a really good point, Gunn. Thank you, Thomas. You're sideboarding you're not sideboarding against your opponent's game 1 deck. You're sideboarding against their game 2 and 3 deck.
Yes.
If we're talking about this mono red versus gardens that we just made up.
Yep.
They're taking Crypt Rats out.
Is that how you sideboard against mono red?
Yeah.
Because I'm not dealing that damage myself. And 3 mana to deal with the Kadoltha. it's kind of a little too late.
No,
4 mana.
too much. Yeah,
My bad. 4 mana.
That's too much.
Like
we have other cards for that.
I'll bring in Drowned Sorrow over that because
Weather the
it's
Storms.
3 mana versus that. And there we go for the mono red sideboard.
Right.
When sideboarding, you have to take place of those Weather Storms. If you're a Flaring Pain gamer, your opponents can't gain life. Is it no damage?
No,
can't be
damage can't be prevented. I wish we had a spell that would.
There is no
life.
Skullcrack in this.
I got that confused with that. Never mind then. That doesn't work. But still, when sideboarding, you have to keep in mind these Weather Storms.
Right. Exactly.
Because you're playing against a different deck now.
Exactly.
So yeah, we can say that you've mulliganed, or you're gonna decide whether you're mulliganing or not. It's like, does this hand beat Weather the Storm? Because that's basically the question you're asking yourself.
Right.
It's because we're gonna mulligan to a card that lets us live through the game, likely.
And if I'm playing a Gardens deck and I'm on that side, I'm on the Garden side. If I'm not keeping a Weather Storm deck, it has to have a lot of interaction, maybe a duress to snipe something really good out of the mono red deck.
Yeah. Also, I know this is more Thomas specific. I'm not keeping a bunch of kill spells and like I'm not like looking to Drown in Sorrow. That's not what I'm looking for against.
I always think stock
Against
Godolpho.
My list particular.
Yes, I was like, we'll use guns.
Part of the reason why I like my list.
Yeah, I was like, guns, or Thomas's specific list here is like not what we're Cameron and I were talking about. We're talking about the generic Godolpho version. So like that's where the Drown in Sorrow is very good instead of over things like Crypt Rats, because Crypt Rats is just a bad card in that matchup. Unless you had Toxic Analysis. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Anywho, so you have to think choosing what cards to take out is always going to be matchup dependent. So to Cameron's point, yes, you want to make sure you're thinking about what your opponent's game plan is going to be now that they know what you are playing, and you can adjust accordingly. Like we're saying, if it's Gardens, you can expect, if you're playing like the red deck or an aggressive deck, you can expect them to have Weather the Storms, more Drown in Sorrows, things of that nature. So you need to plan accordingly. In terms of what you're taking out, you really want to, it sounds so simple and kind of stupid, but like it is just like, what are the bad cards here? For me, a lot of the time when I'm sideboarding with my red deck, Lava Spike is often something that, against like creature decks, Lava Spike is often a card that I will look at and be like, oh, this is a whole card that is only going to convert to 3 damage to their face. It's not going to give me the option like Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning would, where it could either be 3 damage to face, or I could trade it for a card on their side of the board, like killing a creature, like a fairy, or another red creature in the mirror, the pseudo mirror, or something like that. So thinking of those sorts of interactions where like in those matchups, Lava Spike is often the first card on the chopping block for me. If like I want to get this type of effect out of my deck, and I want other cards in.
It's a very linear card.
Exactly, it's a linear card.
You want to give yourself more options.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that's better game 1 when we're just trying to go fast, and
like
just
game 2
burn.
and 3 are going to be going longer. Your opponents expect your opponents to be bringing in life gain, or like speaking again more broadly, something to deal with your game 1 plan.
Right.
So expect games 2 and 3 to go a little bit longer. Right. And if you're on the mid range or control side of that, there you go. You're already expecting to go a little bit longer to begin with.
Right.
And you want the game to go that way for you.
Exactly.
And there's something to say about like those narrow cards. Less so like Lava Spike, but like more so it feels not necessarily a bad card. It's like, man, I don't want this card all the time. Like Dawnbringer, Cleric, and Familiars. Like a lot of times I'm like, this is an easy first cut I just get to make. And it's nice to have a little bit of like saving that brain power where it's like you have those situational cards in your main board, so when you go to sideboard and you're like, sick, I get to cut this immediately.
Yeah,
easy.
Like think about the structure of your deck and what is good against what plans. Like the Lava Spikes in my example were like they're fine burn spells, but they're bad against the creature decks. Like my mind immediately goes to playing Hammer in Modern, where if I'm going up against a creature deck, well, my Esper Sentinels, which care about my opponents casting non-creature spells, I cut those. I cut those and I bring in things to interact with creatures. Or if my opponent's doing something a little bit more like non-creature control-y, combo-y, then I want to take my protection spells out, maybe my Giver Runes and my Surge of Salvations, and bring in like Mana Tithes and things to go into the long game. It's recognizing what in your deck is not going to perform at its best in the matchup, and making sure to trim that. Because like we were saying just before we got started, like think about your deck not as 60 and 15, but think of your deck as 75 cards that you get to choose which 60 you play with each game.
And also...
Not game one.
Well, no, you do. You do choose which 60.
Oh, okay. Before the deck. Before you bring the deck to the tournament.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that. Again, I just want to harp in on I think it's really important when you're sideboarding, you're playing against a new deck. It's their game 2 deck. And that, say, it's probably, I guess, for example, you're playing blue-white affinity. That's really popular right now. And you're playing against, what's a white deck? Coggates.
Sure.
They have a few Journey to Nowhere, sure, main board, but mostly they're interacting with you on the stack.
They're only interacting with you with one piece on the stack.
Counterspell.
Yeah, that's it.
Dispel.
What does Dispel even be?
Annuls, maybe.
Okay, but in this deck, they're interacting with you on the stack now. But on the blue-white side, I'm looking at these turn-asides in a sideboard.
Right, true.
And it's like, you might not think in the first level, it says counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. You're playing against their game 2 deck. They're white. You know they're probably bringing in Dust to Dust.
Yeah. This is a 1-mana counter to Dust to Dust.
Let's get like the protection from their sideboard cards. Like those standard games we were just playing, Thomas, you and I. I was playing a go wide deck.
Yeah,
you were playing a control deck.
Yeah.
I was bringing in Get to Lost in the post-board games, not because it's like Thomas has a bunch of creatures I want to kill, but because he has an enchantment that exiles all my board until it leaves the battlefield, and I need to destroy that enchantment. That's a popular hate card as to Dust to Dust against Affinity and Pauper.
Right.
And that's something you need to bring in sideboard cards to know how to deal with. Same thing like Weather of a Storm versus Burn. You got to figure out how you're going to deal with this extra life gain. Or not even in cards, but you don't want to go like against green decks. You don't want to cast 6 burn spells in the 2 green or 1 green.
Right. I think that speaks more to bringing cards in.
Also, I will...
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say that I am personally not afraid, depending on what the deck is that I'm playing. I'm also not afraid to board out lands, depending on what the deck is. I am not afraid to board out lands. If you're like on the draw...
Dude, Sunken Ruins and Living In, get that crap out of there always. Games 2 and 3.
I want to hard cast your grief sometimes.
Anyway,
I saw Nassif do it like 6 games in a row, and when I was playing that deck, I always took it out because I saw Nassif do it.
That's fair. Nassif's also a wild man.
I changed your mind pretty quick.
Nassif's a wild man. Anyways,
we got number 1 fanboy Nassif.
I do love some Nassif.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I'd say depending on whatever deck that you're playing, I personally am not like completely opposed to boarding out lands on the draw, more on the draw necessarily than on the play, because you're getting one fewer looks at a land over the course of the game.
I trust you on that. And if somebody has a deck that they're very, very good with, and they're like, I've played this matchup a lot, I think I should cut 1 land.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue.
Also, that also works really well against the...
Did you cut your Tron lands at all?
Can't say I did. Can't say I cut my Tron lands. So that also gets more into the like mid-range battles that becomes more of a thing, because you're like, I want to draw more action spells, I want to draw more actual things that do something in the game than just lands in the game. But again, all very contextual. Everything we're saying is completely contextual, and keep that in mind.
Very. Like, yes. We've said it a lot. I'm going to say it again. There's never this is 100% correct. That does not exist in Magic.
Yeah. Wait, you're telling me it's not 100% to board in my Blue Blast against the red deck?
Well, you're like 99% there.
Yeah, we'll call it 99.
That reminded me on cutting cards for sideboard. Thank you. I was going to make a note of that, but I didn't write it down. I forgot to. Something I started doing with like when I was playing Coggates for a little bit, and I'm playing Blue Blast and Red Blast. And if I was playing against another blue-red deck where it's like, man, I'm bringing a lot of cards in against them, I got to start trimming something, and I'm looking at these counter spells.
That was what I was saying when I played that Ephemerate deck as well.
And I'm like, man, these are just better, cheaper counter spells. So I'll trim 2 counter spells. Yeah. I'm trimming that Dispel.
This is the format of efficiency too, and being more efficient with your mana is absolutely huge.
Yes.
being able to double spell on turns can be massive, where you're like, man, I wish I could have done 2 things instead I had 1 counter spell.
And trimming things is kind of like an art form in and of itself. Yes. Of like, what do we trim like 1 copy of? Like I'll like in games that go long, like against like Terror, like with my red deck, as much as I want to see like demand answers, as many demand answers and Ren's Resolves as possible, because that will help me keep up in the late game. Since I know the game is already going to go long, I'm more likely to see 1 to however many of them as the game progresses anyway. And something like Demand Answers, though very strong, since it has that additional cost to cast it, it could potentially be a liability against like a Blue Blast or a Counterspell. So often I'll like trim like 1 of those if I like need to make a little bit of extra room in places.
Speaking on that too, like I did that a lot with Gardens. Like I know this game's gonna go long. I might as well just trim 1 of these Ichor Wellsprings because I already have a bunch of artifacts. Maybe I'll trim a Limbus here. I'll trim a Crypt Rats because I was on 4 for a little bit. Go to 3. I would even start trimming Avenging Hunters or 1 Avenging Hunter, 1 Thorn if I was playing against a Flyers deck because like I'm not gonna want these until I'm ready to end the game.
Yeah. I think it's important also to identify like the core of your deck. Like what are the cards you like almost never would cut.
Look at the name of your deck.
Yeah, exactly. like in Koldatha Red, like I don't think you're ever cutting Koldathas or trimming them ever. No. Like I would imagine not, because that's like the whole thing.
It's a hyperlinear deck trying to do a hyperlinear thing with the thing in the name.
Right. So learn what exactly your core is. Like in my list, like the absolute core is something like the lightning bolts, like synth lightning bolt, chain lightning, the pingers, and then like demand answers, Ren's Resolve, and then everything else kind of floats around that. Even Fire Blast can be trimmed, trim 1 to 2 copies from time to time in like a light resource game,
which is part of the fun of playing control decks in this format, or more on the like 1 of cards in your control decks in this format. Is that those are really, really easy cards to cut. Like we said, Thomas's Singleton in the festivities earlier.
Yep.
That's like the same vein, but with some of these control decks, you have more of those kinds of cards, like your 1-ofs, and those are really easy to cut depending on whatever matchup it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like we said, when I played with the Tron deck, I was like, my deck has a ton of 1-ofs. I can just be like, cool, this card doesn't do anything here. Get rid of it.
Yes.
Yeah, you get to do that. Mystical Teachings.
Yeah, I get having Mystical Teachings, serving as copies, however, add two on top of it, is pretty good. But
go for it.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Same thing worked with my Ephemerate deck. Same way. It played a bunch of 1-ofs. You can cut some of the 1-ofs when you go to post board. It's really nice.
Dig through cards a lot more.
Yeah.
Same thing with Familiars. You played a lot of like 1-of counter magics and stuff because you can be a little bit more picky because your deck draws so many cards.
Yeah, some decks. Oh, a lot of this format.
None of them are good.
A lot of your cards. You did not have a good time playing that deck. Oh my lord.
No, I feel so bad because somebody emailed us. I was so happy. I like talk about Familiars and stuff. And when I just get on the pod the next episode, like, I hate this deck.
Sucks.
That's a me issue. I know.
Yeah. You did not enjoy your time.
No. I'm looking at these Drowning Sorrows and Gardens. Like that's something that's like, well, there's a lot of blue-white affinity running around, and they go wide. They got a bunch, I guess, less so Frogmites now, but now they have 8 1/2s in their deck. Sometimes 5 0/2s, or I don't know. One of them's an 0/3 for Phyrexian Walker, so oops.
Is that speaking to sideboarding in or sideboarding out, though?
Sideboarding in and out. So what I'm saying, so since it's popular, it's a big force in the meta. All these popper podcasts won't shut up about it like us.
Mm-hmm.
This deck is playing these 2 Drowned Sorrows. So if I'm playing against Tron and we're going to sideboard, let's get these out of here.
Oh, they're in the main deck.
Oh, you don't want those Drowning Sorrows against me?
No. Darn. Doesn't kill 05s very well.
I didn't realize there were that many in the main.
04s?
04s. I do have Muldrifters, so you can kill Muldrifters with your Drowning Sorrows if you'd like. No. The little Bugs Bunny meme? No.
Yeah.
So to wrap everything up, as we've mentioned before, a lot of it's based on feel. Whether you know how well you know your deck, everything's contextual. Do what feels right. Make sure that you've learned something from the experience if it didn't go well.
Yes. And if it did.
But I hate. Ooh, sorry, rocking the whole boat.
You're good,
I hate
you're
giving answers like, just like.
It depends.
Yeah, because people don't.
I know.
But for concrete stuff, know what your role is. Are you beaten down? Or are you trying to survive? If gardens, I'm trying to survive. I'm looking for hands that have a trinkety artifact. Maybe I can dig for my next land drop, and then a deadly dispute effect that I can hold up if I don't need to cast down something right away or defile something. That is my role in the game. I am looking for that. Sometimes that deck mulligans to 5 to find that and wins games still. Mm-hmm. So know your game plan. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid of mulligan.
Correct.
It is a tool given to you.
It's
and
a feature, not a bug.
It is busted. It is so good and constructed. And I think the further back a format's card pool gets, the better mulliganing gets as well.
Yes. Like, this is a brainstorm format. Like, your mulligans can be super efficient, like, depending on what deck you're playing. You listen
to Limited Resources, a limited podcast, a retail limited podcast, not even the good limited cube, but they're talking about in that. Mulliganing is really awful and limited. You almost would keep any.
Yeah, you're down cards. I remember something that stuck with me many years ago. Was from a former pro player. His name was Neil Oliver. I remember watching a stream of his many years ago. Kind of before Magic streaming was like super popular. Even he was playing whatever limited format it was at the time, and I remember watching. Like, he's like, I won't mulligan in this format. He's like, I do not mulligan in this format, period. And I'm like, that's something profound. He's like, I don't, because you're down, like, and then it makes you think, it's like, well, why do you not mulligan? It's like, you're down cards in a format where every card matters for something, and so on and so forth. Yes, there's the very obvious
7 no lands.
Seven no lands. There's these very obvious things, but he's like, I don't mulligan. I don't mulligan this format. I'm like, that was a crazy thing for me to hear as a younger Magic player. I'm like, that's absurd. I don't understand. But now I'm like, oh, I guess everything is contextual.
Still wrapping everything with a bow. Things are slowing down. Games 2 and 3. Keep that in mind. And you're playing against a new Game 2, Game 3 deck, not that Game 1 stock list you're seeing.
Correct. And also understand we didn't really touch on this, but understand not just your role, but who's favored in the matchup, and whether that can also determine how aggressively you need to mulligan. Because if you feel like you're very favored in the matchup, like, let's say, like Cawgates versus Mono Red. Cawgates, I think, feels very favored, so they can probably get away with keeping like a medium to good hand, because their cards are going to line up so much better card for card against the Mono Red player's deck. Whereas the red player probably has to mulligan pretty aggressively to find the right cards that can line up and hope to squeeze out a win. So
I think we've all lost games where it's like you have a good matchup against said deck, and you're like, this is an all right 6 or 7, keep it, and you're like, where did this go wrong?
Yeah. It depends on how favored it feels, or, whether you notice like a skill difference between you and your opponent. If you notice, they made you saw specific cards that you didn't expect out of their archetype or whatever, and you're like, oh, I need to pivot around this or what have you. Yeah.
And like going back to SCG Con Sensi, when I was playing Rakdos Scam, everyone was saying that since the Fury ban, it's so bad against Teamer Rhinos, the Cascade deck. Did not lose to it.
Nope.
I lost every game 1. I played it 3 times, lost every game 1, then reverse 2-0'd them.
Yep.
Just because I mulliganed to 5 aggressively and got very, very rewarded for it. That was finding multiple pieces of hate, and you won't always get rewarded for it. Like, sometimes you go to 5 and you're like, man, I still haven't seen a sideboard card.
It's a game of variance.
Yeah, so that happens. In Magic on Chicago, I was playing a pickup game of Modern. Someone was playing an artifact deck, Hardened Scales. I was playing Rakdos Scam because it's still what I have built or rebuilt. And but anyway,
why did you have to rebuild it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's a really bad matchup for Rakdos Scam. I mulligan the 5. I kept the hand with like Engineer Explosives, Hitsugu Consumes All, and some other heat piece.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, cool, in 2 lands. And then after I beat them, they're like saying I was so lucky because I saw all my hate pieces, and I'm like, yeah, it's like I mulliganed. Crazy.
You were afforded the opportunity to mulligan, and you used your opportunity.
Yeah. That was funny. Good times.
Hell yeah.
That person was cool. Besides, they're a cool person. They were just we've all been a little salty.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It happens.
Yeah, make good, mulligan, maybe it's a good practice to just like try mulliganing a little bit more aggressively than you normally do. Just like try it. Like, if you're just like playing at your local shop or whatever, like the stakes aren't really that high.
No.
You just practice with your friends. Like there are no stakes. Just like, give it a try.
And it makes for good stories.
Yes.
I think we've all like have good stories of how we mulled the 4 and won.
Yeah, I got knocked out of contention for top 8 at the RCQ
See, look at
this past
Hippo's
Saturday.
face.
Just like my opponent mulled the 4 and squeaked it out. Like a sick game. It was super tight.
I remember the very first PPTQ I ever won. I am in top 8 in the quarterfinals. We're going to game 3, and I have mulliganed to 4. And my head is just like...
And that's old. That's 4. Look at 4 cards and then just scry on top, right? Yeah. You don't even get to C7, put 3 back.
I kept... whatever hand it was that I kept, I don't remember exactly. But my opponent did not mulligan. They did not find a third land, and they died. They were not able to answer my Gideon that I curved out on turn 4.
Yeah.
Then they died.
Whew.
It was great.
Boggles, same thing. Old mulligan. You just draw 4, scry 1. It was land, boggle, enchantment. I'm like, we're gaming. It was like, I think it was like 1 mana enchantment, Daybreak Coronet, rip the second land. Let's go.
Yep, there you go.
I won.
Hell yeah. I won a Boggles mull to 4 once with it was 2 lands Boggle Spirit Dancer and just drew all the auras.
Gaming.
It was great.
Like
it happens.
Yeah, mulliganing is a powerful tool.
I beat Amulet with Hammer on a mull to 4 at SCG Pittsburgh this past year. Like,
yeah.
It was sick. It happens. You got it. You have to mulligan to your outs. You mulligan to your good hands.
And mulliganing and sideboarding, 2 extremely basic parts of the game that we play. Yeah. Right?
And they're just not talked about enough.
And they don't get talked about a lot. It's like, yeah, I want to pay $5 for a sideboard guide.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
But you got to know when you are supposed to be looking for those sideboard cards when you're mulliganing.
Yes. And also when it makes sense to deviate from the plan that they've given you.
Yeah.
And then I actually, like, if they're like, let's say, like, like, I think we'll wrap it up here in a sec, but like if you're looking at a guide that says, okay, against terror you take out your lava spikes and you bring in your red blasts, but you see like, I don't know, you see some weird card where you're like, oh, I might actually, maybe it's Bant Terror, and you're like, oh, they have prismatic strands. Oh, I think I might want my flaring pains. What do I have to take out? You got to be able to think on the fly of like, okay, what's bad against this specific iteration? So,
like their list is a little bit different, so now you got to adjust on the fly too. Yep. Yeah. Shall we talk about some? Oh.
Not all lists are created equal.
Yes, that's true. Cool. Thanks, fam. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah,
I'm glad my list treated you well. That's really flattering and nice to hear. Thank you.
You got 50 minutes, or before Thomas cuts it down, 10 minutes of the intro and 50 minutes of us yapping.
Hell yeah.
All right, would y'all care to move on to the challenges from this past weekend?
Let's talk about some tournaments.
Not really.
Kind of.
I'm kidding.
There's some stuff going on. There was also a tournament that went down in France too. Congrats to everyone who played that. We're not really going to go over it. We're going to focus on the challenges because that's what we have time for. But awesome to, I think there were like 64 people, and I saw some things about it on Twitter. And what was the list that won? I think it was a terror list. Is it
from the French thing,
something like that.
1 second.
I don't know.
We have fairies in first.
Oh, fairies in first. Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
Fairies and terror, or is it terror? Were the
gotcha. Oh yeah. That was the finals. Okay, I saw the tweet from the terror player. Awesome, cool. All right, this is the 16th. Is that the Saturday?
We have the 16th with 32 challenge with 47 players.
47 players.
Yeah, not the best. You need to get in there. Add 3 more.
That's
If I had a better computer, I probably would.
Yeah, we got to get into some of these challenges.
To run a 25-year-old program?
Dude, my computer is sad.
Ugh.
In 8th place, Make It Right on Green White Boggles. In 7th place, Guy Bird with Mono Red Burn. This looks to be... I'm going to sneak a peek. It's probably Koldatha. Oh, it's not. We're going to talk about this. In 6th place, Vingador MTG on Is It Fairies? In 5th place, Kerblinski on Golgari Dredge. In 4th place, Luffy de Chapeau de Paula, moving off of Grixis Affinity into Golgari Gardens. In 3rd place, Tia 93 on Blue Black Fairies. In 2nd place, Jesus Returned on Blue White Glitters Affinity.
Very Easter.
And in very on theme. And in 1st place, Tyrube 1618 on Cycling Storm.
All right, before we continue, I want to point something out that's extremely important here.
Yes, please.
There are 8 different decks in this top 8.
Look at that. Let's go.
Diverse. Ban glitters.
I don't want to hear anything about this banning of glitters. I don't want to hear it.
No.
You're going to hear
deck
it.
is fine.
Yeah, no, deck is fine. Deck is good.
Just play your hate cards.
Yeah. This Dredge deck, I don't think the first iteration did it have the Rebel Belt Mavericks.
Ooh, is it got Mavericks in here?
I know that's a card you're familiar with, Thomas, with drafting.
I love Rebel Belt Maverick.
Yeah, you told me when we were drafting, like, hey, this card's good.
I think this card is good.
It is good.
This looks sweet. Looks like they just they slotted the Maverick into the Dredge shell and
still got that flashback sideboard plus 2 Drowned Sorrows.
Yeah,
and a Bazooka Bog.
Pretty sick.
Glad to see this deck still making moves. Cool.
Yeah, Kerblinski.
Good Magic player.
Good Popper player.
Who knew?
Looks like the Cycling Storm deck is pretty stock. I mean, I don't think you can really make too many changes to the main deck with the list as it sits these days, just because the combo is pretty straightforward. It kind of just needs to do what it needs to do. A couple copies of, I've never seen this one before, Grizzly Survivor.
I was looking at that
sideboard.
literally looking at that card as we speak.
It's from Hour of Devastation. It's 2 and a black for a 2/3 Minotaur Warrior. And whenever you cycle or discard a card, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So you just
on your combo turn.
Yeah, so just
kill them instead of a pinger them.
Nice. So just like a way to just do it with less cycles, and or just like if you just need, maybe if there's like some graveyard hate or something, you can just like do a bunch of fair cycles and hit them for a bunch, and then hit them for a bunch the next turn.
Yeah, because they're not going to bring in their removal. They're going to board out all their removal spells.
Yeah.
This will just get them.
That's cool. I like that. Okay, I want to talk about this burn deck. All right. Guy Bird is singing my language. Only creatures are the 4 Epicures and 4 Flame Breathers.
Is that you two?
We're on. All right. What?
Is that what you're on too?
Yep.
Nice.
That's only creatures. So I love to see that. They are on a bunch of, and then it's just like pretty much all burn. They have 4 copies of Incinerate, which is 2 mana, 3 damage.
I played against this, something very close to this the other night, playing Allegum Popper. I was like, man, there's got to be a better card than Incinerate. This just cannot be the card. I think I would rather play Needle Drop.
I was saying this would be a good Needle Drop
than that card.
This is literally just all burn.
It is all burn with Electrickery.
It is,
plus Electrickery.
2 copies of Electrickery, and the Epicures and the Flame Breathers, 18 lands, and the rest is all burn spells. 4 Incinerate, 4 Bolts, 4 Searing Blaze, which is nice to see in the rotation, 4 Fire Blast, the 2 Electrickery, 4 Chain Lightning, 4 Lava Spike, 4 Rift Bolt, 4 Skewers.
At least they're playing Forgotten Cave and not whatever that other one from
Phyrexia is. The Sphere or whatever.
The Furnace or whatever.
The Furnace, yeah.
Thomas, how many copies of the Impulse Draw effects are you on?
I'm on a full, well, if you're counting Demand Answer, I'm playing 12 if you count Synthesizer, Ren's Resolve, and Demand Answers.
This is where I think the Incinerate becomes Needle Drop. This deck needs to be able to draw a card.
I think so. I mean, it does the thing.
It's also, the other thing is 1 mana. which is very nice.
Yes.
It's a ping trigger.
Yeah, you also get a cheaper ping trigger.
Yeah, I can't. We can't debate their success in the tournament.
Correct.
They 5-1 the Swiss before losing in top 8. So like we can't argue with that. However, I think I would like to see some amount of card draw. Like we're saying, like you could play Needle Drop if you want to stick with the burn plan. But that's partially why I like Epicure in the first place, because it's a Needle Drop that blocks.
But what if we just had 2 of them?
Yeah, no, you can absolutely do that. But also, like with Flame Breather specifically, like if you're doing all of this, why not just play Thermo Alchemist? Because they're all spells, and Thermo Alchemist has the out of, if you're not drawing burn spells, you can at least still ping every turn, so that you can go into the long game. I don't know this. I mean, it's sweet. I'm so happy to see a quad Fire Blast Flame Breather deck in top 8. I just think that I would like to see like Synthesizer's Rinse Resolve, just to like make your draws a little bit more consistent, or at least just be able to kill.
Maybe they just didn't want air in their deck.
The consistency is dealing 3 damage to your face.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Man,
Lightning
strike.
strike.
It's just a lot of burn.
That's
it's
a lot of
burn.
That's the name of the deck, baby. It's not
is,
mono
in fact,
red
burn.
Dirtle deck.
It's not mono red Kadoltha. It's not mono red artifacts.
Nope.
And it's not mono red draw twos. It's mono red burn.
We'll have to
Mono red
test
kill
out
you.
cutting some of the impulse effects and or demand answers and see
Maybe.
how this ends up going. Like,
I think I could see trimming like a couple Ren's Resolves, perhaps.
are you on the artifact, implemented combustion?
Yes.
Maybe trimming those.
Maybe.
Like if you trim those with the demand answers, it makes the.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to play around with it. Because, like, Demand Answers is also fine if you just, like, discard a land if you're flooding or whatever. It's cool.
All right. Would y'all like to move on to the other 32?
Yeah, I accidentally exit out. Hold on.
Yeah, pull up the 64 first one.
64. Okay.
Chronological order. This also has 7 different decks in top 8.
All right.
This does not have 7 different decks in top 8.
This has 6 different decks in top 8.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
There's 5 different decks in top 8.
I agree. There's 2 sets of affinities, 2 sets of
Glitters
Gardens
and 2 sets
and
of
2
fairies.
My bad.
2 sets of gardens.
Yeah. In 8th place, Spyco de Gea with blue-black fairies. In 7th place, Hamuda on Glitters Affinity. That's blue-white. In 6th place, back-to-back top 8s, Tia 93 on blue-black fairies. In 5th place, Wind Up Emma on Golgari Gardens. In 4th place, GN42 on Familiars. In 3rd place, Paulo Cabral BR on Blue-White Glitters Affinity. In 2nd place, Pedro Stone on Gardens. And in 1st place, Fair MTG on Boros Synth. Cameron, you want to talk about this Synth deck?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. Are they on 8 inspectors? Let's see.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Correctly so.
Spoiler alert, though, the next other challenges day, there's 2 more Boros decks in the top 8, and they're not on 8 inspectors.
Whoa.
So, ooh.
Somebody's wrong.
Yeah, and this time the numbers are on my side.
Ooh.
This is the first time.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking about. You're seeing they're cutting like your flex packages to make way for the 4 Thrabe inspectors. Where on my version, I like to be on the Thrabe or the Seeker of the Ways and a couple copies of Bar Battle Fist. And this deck is doing it all. They got 8 inspectors, 3 Seeker of the Ways, and 2 copies of Bar Battle Fist. They're cutting. I guess they don't play demand answers. What are they? They don't have the main board relics that you see in other lists.
And they don't have the Ichor Wellsprings
No,
either.
but they do have Journey to Nowhere's their answer.
Yep. So no Journey to Nowhere's and no.
Ichor Wellspring.
No, they have Journey to Nowhere in their deck.
Oh, my bad. What was I? I was thinking of Ichor Wellsprings and makeshift munitions to go with the Ichor
Sure.
Wellspring.
Sure.
So like cutting up the few one-up packages or whatever and all the other extra artifacts, just relying on your artifact lands and 8 inspectors, which is probably fine to turn on your Galvanic Blast. Like you got plenty of other artifacts to do so. Still a fun deck, still good. This list is not playing the 3 mana deal 4, gain 4.
Sure.
What's
Founder Helix.
Founder Helix, thank you. We got 3 Dust to Dust on the sideboard. We often don't, sometimes we don't see those just because 3 mana can be tricky off a synthesizer, can make your synthesizer a little bit awkward, but it is such a potent and powerful card against the affinity decks.
There is one thing I would like to talk about. Did you take a look at Wind Up Emma's garden stack?
No, I mean,
There's a sort of splash color in there.
Is it white?
No, it is not white. It is red.
Oh, hello.
Ooh, glad I got your attention.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Officer Barbrady, shenanigans.
Also, not just shenanigans. Ancient Grudge too.
Ancient Grudges and Red Blasts.
That's interesting. They're getting that off. Is it just one tap land? I'm sure they can search out.
Two geothermal bogs that you can fetch out with your troll.
It's pretty cool.
You have six central.
So you play
sources.
the full 4 trolls,
plus,
so you can
plus your
facilitate
red
that.
off your treasures and so on and so forth. Yeah,
and 2 campfires in the main. Let's go.
Well, this person was not looking to lose to mono red.
Nope.
No, I saw no drowned sorrows.
Yeah,
just 3 in the board.
Just a meta thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you add these 3 red artifact hates, no deglammers, which is a little interesting because you can't deglamor.
You can continuously pick up the shenanigans though.
That's true. That's huge. Nice. That is really nice.
That is absolutely huge. You just have this consistent removals. You can also pick it up off your draw 2s as well, which is insane.
That is nice because you can just dredge one of those.
Yeah, you can dredge one, pick it up.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Can't
I really
hit
like that actually.
The indestructible lands, which is I think all right because as we said, like blue-white is the more popular version now.
Yeah, and most of their lands you can still hit anyways. So or you can just hit 8 of them.
We'll have to try that out sometime.
Yeah, it's a really interesting
technology.
List.
These fairies list looks similar enough, just small tweaks and changes between them. What do you got? Anything else in?
TN93 has a copy of Echoing Decay in their fairies list. It's 1 in a black instant. It's the black
neg 2 for all creatures of the same name.
Yes, the black spell of that cycle.
Carrot Eater top 16ing this challenge and the Friday challenge as well with Coggates. They are a very good Coggates pilot. They seem to always be playing that deck and putting up good results. We see them constantly in these top 8s, top 16s. So good job on that.
Shall we move it to the second Sunday?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. Cool. Let me look at these glitters deck to make sure I don't see any froggies jumping around, hopping around.
I don't see anything too
out of the ordinary.
Path. All right, Sunday, March 17th, the MTGO Pauper Challenge 32. Our top 8 in 8th place, SKP Chino on Gruul Panza. In 7th place, Sitio Giere on Borosynth. In 6th place, Drugo on Is It Fairies. In 5th place, Bruno Guerra on Golgari Gardens. In 4th place, Vinny Torres on Mono Red Kuldotha. In 3rd place, Burek on Walls Combo. In 2nd place, Hyson01 on Borosynth. And in 1st place, another win, Blue Black Fairies, piloted by Mogd. Pretty sure this is his same list he's been playing.
So 7 different decks here? Double up on synth, that's it?
Yeah. It's good. Like, people are adjusting to it. I think people are kind of... There's still a lot in the top 32, but a little less. Like, the hype train is kind of chilling out a little bit because, like, again, you see it do super well. People are just going to pick the deck up and play it, you know.
People are ready for it now.
Yeah.
These 2 synthesizer decks, 4 inspectors, not 8, 4 in both of these lists. Instead, we see 2 Cart Clan Shamans in both of these decks. So just another board wipe for non-flyers.
And 3 main deck relics on this one.
And the Cart Clan Shaman's pretty good for dealing with blue-white artifacts just because they tend to go wide. And you said the relics we see and also the Foundry Helixes just from gunning against mono red, I guess. Like, it's good for the aggro decks. It's nice to see not a bunch of glitters in this top 8s, and we always see like interesting decks pop up, like Boros Synthesizer's kind of been on the down. We're seeing this pop up here. Gruul Panza making an appearance, and like we said, like Recycling Storm and Dredge and stuff. So it's like
Walls Combo.
Yeah, like
it's
not drastic times. The meta's still super, super healthy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of different options. Lots going on. Another Panza list down in top 16. Let's go.
And there's only, I guess, 3 decks with blue in it, counting the Defender combo, which is just a light touch of blue. And, like, versus like last week when we were talking. It's just like every deck glitters.
Oh yeah, the
not.
last 2 weekends is just like glitters.
Even not like there's like the Coggates. The Coggates was a bunch too, and like Familiars was in a couple. So it's just like a lot of blue. So it's good to see the other colors kind of pumping up in numbers a bit.
Yeah. You love to see it.
Love the diversity that we have here.
Does anybody have anything to say about Walls combo? I don't know anything about this deck list. It just looks like a bunch of walls to me.
Actually, this is the wall. This is the not just the regular Walls combo deck. This is the Walls Cascade combo deck.
Oh, okay. Oh, what?
We're playing Annoyed Altasaur and Avenging
that's
Hunter.
more fun.
Yeah, this is way more fun.
This Gardens deck in the top 8, they have Toxin Analysis in the sideboard.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so from that Jund Metalcraft. I'm surprised that didn't take over the top 8s this season.
That deck is so cool.
I know, but it's cool. I like to see Gardens playing. They're playing the 4 Crypt Rats with 2 Toxic Analysis in the sideboard for the decks where Crypt Rats is very important against, or just aggro decks where you could just
pop it for 1 and kill everything.
Gain a bunch of life.
Pop it for 12 if you can. And gain
X
6 kajillion.
Excuse me. 12x, whatever.
Big yawns from Thomas Gunn.
I'm sleepy. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think that about covers it for the challenges this weekend.
Hell yeah. GG's to everyone. I hope everyone sideboarded and mulliganed well.
You said
in the
Hamuda
challenge.
was off Grixis Affinity? They
Uh,
playing what?
Luffy.
Oh, Luffy. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I just
That's
saw.
okay.
No, Hamuda was on Affinity still.
Hamuda bounces around.
Yeah.
Hamuda is one of those, you
Missed
know,
top 8 barely. in this
play
one.
the best deck gamers, or build the new best deck gamers.
Fair enough. All right, y'all. I think that wraps it up on another beautiful episode of the Common Ground podcast. I don't think I said episode 16, but it was. There you go. If you made it this far, it's episode 16.
Was it?
Yeah. At least that's what I'm calling it. If you have any questions for us, feel free to email them to the podcast email, commongroundmtgpod@gmail.com. Of course, that email will be in the description. You can always DM us, any 3 of us, on Twitter and send us some hate or tell us how wrong we are about something. If you feel the need to do so, we'll put up with it. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, all that. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. If you leave us reviews, that's awesome, because then that helps like algorithms for suggesting more podcasts and stuff. If there's a Spotify question thing, I dare you to answer it.
You can also just rate it some 5 stars on Spotify as well.
Leave us a review on Apple Podcast.
If we earned it.
No.
Yeah. We hope that you've made it this far, that we've earned your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whoever's hearing this probably somewhat enjoys the show.
We appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are great, and it's really cool to see some feedback coming through. That's really, really cool.
For sure.
All right, everyone.
Is it time?
It's time.
Until next time.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, fam. Until next time.
Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Oh, I can't do it. I was going to do a really high. Why do they always send the poor? I think I'd rip my vocal cords
That's
out.
okay.
Or I would,
It's okay.
We
I'm sure we
thank you for
appreciate
your services.